Welcome to Websites for Beginners, where we look at all the different things you can do to learn how to make a website in WordPress from all the page builders available and other plugins and add-ons. In this video, we are talking about ACF, Advanced Custom Fields, and the current integration with the Brizy Page Builder. Now, when I start thinking about this, which I've been doing now for almost a month, I really get almost cold sweat because it is not that easy just to explain or to show somebody what to do with ACF, because there is some stories you have to add in the front and then there's some more you have to add in the back, and it can become a very lengthy and complicated conversation. So what I've opted is to show you at this moment what you can do with ACF in Brizy. And I'll just share a little bit about what custom fields are. You don't have to think in terms of advanced, you only need to learn what is a custom field. So I'm going to take you in this tutorial through the basic introduction, and then after that show you how you can currently use custom fields within Brizy by using the Advanced Custom Fields plugin. I want to say this at this very moment. This relates to what we refer to as dynamic content. And Brizy is tackling dynamic content very early in their development stage, so you should expect limited functionality as well as bugs. If you look at the other page builders out there that have been bringing in this dynamic content over months in the past, they are still struggling here and there. It's not an easy thing. And that's why I want to tell you, when you get the plugin, you may see lots of features within the plugin, but maybe not all of those features can currently be used in Brizy. The benefit of bringing it into the page builder at such an early development stage is that you can iron out all those bugs that will appear over time. Again, the limitation is that you don't have all the features to your availability. Let's first determine what is a field, and we are mostly going to be working with posts. One of the great things about advanced custom fields or custom fields is that you can use it with post types, but Brizy is currently not ready for post types, so I'm not going to explain that to you. We're only going to focus on posts. So what I've done in my post section, I have created these 4 posts. And these 4 posts are connected to albums. So if you look here and I click on this, the name of this album is called Firestar 2 Reach. And then there's some random text over here. And we've added the album feature image here. What I just showed you is a field. Those are fields. Those are things that are part of your post and which you can enter data into it. So the title, for example, is a field, and then you have this editor paragraph area, which is a field. Even this one is a field. I'm simplifying things, but get that basically that is a field. Now you can begin to understand the limitations of what we see here. You can only do this with the post. You cannot do really much more with it. You cannot style it much. You have that flexibility, but it is all determined by the theme that you are using. So in the past, people who were developing themes, and I want to use that word developing, because the Advanced Custom Field plugin was originally intended for developers. People who were making themes and they wanted to add extra functionality to the posts or portfolios or other kinds of post types, they were the ones who would use a plugin like Advanced Custom Fields. And remember, a plugin is just a shortcut for doing something with code. So for developers, many of them just write the code and they can do these things. And then somebody one day say, hey, let's find an easier way to do that. Let's write a plugin. Now, the first thing I want to show you here is how you can set up your dynamic content for a single post page, which we've already done, but I'm going to show you very quickly. In this one, currently I have the Astra theme installed. If I want to view this post, I'm going to see it as Astra is displaying it. So I preview the changes and you will see currently this is how it looks. This is determined by the theme. So if the theme developers want to add some extra features, it will display here. And this is my single post. Let me just exit the full view here. But what if I wanted to style this the way I want to style it? And that is where dynamic content comes in. Let's quickly do that before we get to advanced custom fields. We have to go and create a template. And in this template, we are going to apply this to our posts, which I'm going to call single posts. And we have to add this condition here. Where do we want it to apply? And we want it to apply to the posts. So we click on post, we say all, and you have to click on add to ensure that it is registered. After that, you click on publish. Now you can enter the Brizy editor, and you can, instead of having it look like this, you can go and style it the way you would like it to look. So we add a blank block. I'm going to delete this over here. And then for the title, I'm going to drag in a text, and I'm going to then Control All, delete it, and then Shift 3 for the hash, and choose my post title. It will only say post title. I'll show you soon what that will do. I'm going to align it to the middle. I'm going to make it a heading 1, and then I'll make it this blue so we can see it better. So now this post title will be displayed like this. The next thing I want to do is I want to bring in my image, the featured image, as well as the content. So I'm going to style this a little bit different and put a different layout. I bring in columns, 2 columns, and I'm going to drag this, let's say, all the way over here to 30%. So we have a 30 to 70 ratio. And then click on this one and bring in my image. And then when I click on the image, you will see these little discs. Click on that and choose featured image. Now I'm going to bring in my post content. So click again here, click on text, select all, delete it, Shift 3 and post content. And I can also style this. I'm going to give it a different, let's call it Montserrat. And then I'm just going to update it. So we have created this template. We've assigned this template to all our posts, and then we have made our layout here. So if I am now to refresh this one, it will not use Astra theme settings anymore. It will use the Brizy template. Let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm refreshing it and see what happens. And it does what I expected it to do. Great. So you can actually add more stuff here. You can add all those dynamic content that you have seen. So if I add another text box, I highlight them, I delete them, Shift 3, you can see there's a lot of stuff that I can add. I can add my author name, I can add categories, I can add the post time and date. Let's do that. Let's say the post date, and I'm going to put a pipe there next to it, Shift 3, post time. Let's see if there's anything else we can add here. Let's put another pipe and author name, site title, author website, archive description. You see, there's a lot of things that if you have information for them, you can use them. I'm going to stick to these two. And then let's make them italic. And let's just update. And now these two fields should appear below this. These things that are generated by WordPress, we call metadata usually. I just call them here for this tutorial a field. So we're going to update them. And there they appear. Very nicely done. But what if I wanted to add my own fields? What if I had decided that here I have this album, I would to add a name, or I would like to add something like when this album was released, and maybe I can add a few other things. How can I do that? If we go back to our posts, so I'm going to exit my dynamic content and my template here. I go back to my post, all posts. I click on this post over here. There's no way I can add additional fields. And you will see if you go up here to screen options, there's actually a button over there, custom fields. If I click on that, it will open up custom fields here at the bottom where you can indeed add extra things. But we are not going to use this one here. What we are going to do now is we are going to create our own custom fields. And that is where ACF, Advanced Custom Fields, come in. That is a plugin. So let's go to our plugins and say Add New. I'm going to type in your ACF. And then you look for this one, this light teal Advanced Custom Fields. You can see over 1 million active installations. Install now. And then activate it. Once you have activated it, now you have to go and create your Advanced Custom Fields. In your dashboard menu, you will see this label that says Custom Fields. And what we are going to do is we are going to add a new field group. Let's click on that and then we can add the new one from there. Very familiar interface. It's always nice when you have a familiar interface. See, it kept my exercise here from previous. Let's do it again. So I'm going to add a new one. And what I want to do here is I want to add additional fields for those albums that I've just made. So I'm going to call this album info. And then I need to add fields by using this blue button. And there are various kinds of fields. The first thing I'm going to call it is I want to have the album name. So I'm going to say album name. And when you tap, you will see this appears here. You can just leave that. Don't mess around with the field name. Leave it like that is. And this is a text element. I want to type in the name of the album. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to worry too much about these things here. I'm going to say add field. I want to add a second field. Now I want to add release date. When was this album released? Release date. And I'm going to click on text. And if I go down, I can have what we call a date picker. Let's see if that one works. We can add extra images. For example, I want to have some images together with the album. We can say related images or image. We'll just do one. And from here, I have to select it as an image. So I go down here to image. Good. And let's see if there is something else we can add. From these, we have text, we have number. What can we do with number? We can give it a rating. So let's say rating. How high do I want to rate it? And I'm just going to leave it at that. You would see that there are quite a number of things down here that you can use from custom fields, advanced custom fields. I've tested most of them. Some of them don't work currently in Brizy, but you are safe when you go with text area, number, email did work. So there's quite a number of them that works very well in Brizy at this moment. Others still need support and they will come in. So let's go up here and publish it and then have a look at what we've got. After it's published, you will see we have a field group, which is called album info. And then we have these 4 fields we've added. Now go back to posts. Go to all posts and select any of your posts. Wait, we forgot something. Let's go back. Go to custom fields and click on field groups. It's already set, but I want to show you it so you're not confused about it. Click on album info. You have to assign this field group to something. And what we want to assign it to is to your posts up here. So you're going to say post type is equal to post. That's all you're going to do. Leave it at that. And you don't have to do much. It comes default set at that, but just so that you are aware. Because in the future, if we have the option within Brizy to make custom post types, this one will become interesting and I'll show you how it works then, once we get that functionality. Let's now go again to posts, all posts, and click on any of the posts. And you will notice the following. Now, beneath this text editor, you will see those fields that we have added. So for the album name, this one is called Firestar, and I'm going to go through this so you can get used to what I'm doing. Reach, and we're going to choose a release date, any date. I'm just picking them randomly. Let's add another image, any image, and we give it a rating of 5, right? And then we have to update it. Let's do one more post so that you can see that these fields have all been applied to all of the posts. And you need to go fill them in. So this one is called a bittersweet carousel. Let's type that in, a bittersweet carousel. Release date, let's choose another date. Right there. Image, let's add a random image. This guy looks very pensive. And we give this album a rating of 3 out of 5 and update. And you can do that with the rest of the posts. Let's go back. Okay, before we go back, let's preview these changes. So remember, we created that template in Brizy. So it should show us that. Let's do it and drag it up there. But you see, we still only have the title. We have the contents, our featured image, and the metadata over here. But these fields that we have over here, album name, release date, related image, and rating, they are not displayed here. We have to go back to our template. So let's do that. Brizy, templates. And then let's go edit our single posts and to continue edit with Brizy. Right, so the post title and actually the album name is going to be exactly the same thing. So I'm not going to play around with that. But let's say we want to add in our rating. So what we do is we bring in another text element. Click in here and we say rating out of 5. And then next to it we say hash and we use rating. There we have that. Let's make this one something bigger. We make it a heading 3. Give it another color so that we can see it. And what else did we add here? We added another image, related images. So let's style it up a little bit with a column inside here. 2 columns. Let's drag an image from here. And if I click now on the image and I click on the dynamic content, you will see related image appears here. Good. Now the question is, let's see if the date picker works. Going to grab the text, click on it, Control-Alt, delete, hash, and release date. So there's the release date. So let's just give it a heading as well so that people know. Release date. There we go. And then we update it. Of course, we're not doing a master work of art here. We're just showing you how these custom fields can now be used within the dynamic content. These were all fields. The rating, the extra image, and the release date were all fields that we had created with advanced custom fields. Now, if we were to refresh this, they should appear. Let's keep our fingers crossed again. And there they are. In a very simplistic way, this is what custom fields allow us to do. There are actually a number of plugins on the market for that. The 3 most popular ones are Advanced Custom Fields, ACF, then Toolset, and another one called Pods. Each of them has some benefits and drawbacks. Advanced Custom Fields has some major drawbacks in it doesn't allow you to create archive pages or posts lists. It only allows you to create custom fields. And like I mentioned at the beginning, this is a useful tool for developers who are developing themes or plugins. They can use this to style their posts and their pages, bringing in new fields, setting up things like portfolios, reviews, property listing, many other options that you can do with it. At the end of the day, if you are not a developer and you don't have coding skills to make those archive pages, you need page builders like Brizy here in front of you to bring that information onto your page. And that is why your custom fields at this moment will work with your posts, but to display them, you will need to go and create a template and bring in that dynamic content. So you can see there's a lot of benefit in this. Now, in the past, I used to just create pages. I would create a page for my album, and then I will just make, as many pages as I need for the various albums. There is a problem though. What happens if I decide later I want to change the font? That means I need to go and change the font for each and every page. Whereas with dynamic content, I can do the following. I go here and I change my font. Let's make it Play Fair Display. And I can go to this one and I can drag it here. And I can change the color over here and then update it. Now this will apply across all your posts connected to this template. And that is why these custom fields connected with dynamic content are so popular, because it allows you to make styling changes across your website to everything that is assigned to that field and to that dynamic content. I hope this helps a little bit so you can understand where custom fields come in and how the advanced custom field can currently be used within Brizy. There is one feature that I was hoping to show you. I did get it to work previously, but in the current version it's not working, and that is how to make your own post type and how to use advanced custom fields with the dynamic templates to display your own post types. In an upcoming video, we'll be looking at that once that feature is fully included in Brizy, and then I will also explain to you what do we mean by a post type. This is JP here with Websites for Beginners. Please give us feedback and any ideas that you have on how to use it. And yes, see you in the next video.